Oh, man, that was a big flash of black powder. All right, guys, I'm back, and we're breaking out the Kibler Southern Mountain Rifle Flintlock here. Join me on this week's episode. We're going to be taking this thing hunting, and who knows what we're going to get. Deer, hogs, porcupines, rattlesnakes. You really never know out here what we're going to come across, but this is a fine rifle. Definitely one of my favorites. But it's a little bit of a change up, because the last few episodes we were hunting with this giant 72 caliber ball. And for a comparison, this week we're going to be hunting with this. It's a 36 caliber. Not very big when you compare it to this. So we've got quite a bit less firepower, but I'm quite confident this thing at close range will do the job on a deer or a hog. A lot of guys use this caliber for squirrels, but I think we're putting enough powder behind it that it's going to do the job. Let's take some practice shots here and make sure we're still dialed in with it. All right, first off, you can see I've got a white can set right down there, and I've got a target over there, but let's shoot that can first and see what it does to it. Already got it loaded up. Pan primed. Nailed it. Man, this thing is sweet. One thing about these muzzle loaders is they're definitely not the quickest thing to reload, but it really makes you take your time with a shot. Make sure you're gonna hit whatever you're shooting at. Lube patches here. 0.35 round balls. This thing feels like a BB gun compared to the elephant gun we've been shooting. Now I've got that pinch of powder we saved. Drop a little bit of it in the pan. We're ready to rock again. Not quick, but it works. If you can see right there, I've got a real target on a frying pan. So I'm gonna back up here and back up to about deer hunting range, and we'll see if I can hit that target, and we'll also be able to see if it goes through that frying pan. Double set triggers on this thing. After you pull that back one, that front one is a hair trigger. Well, I nailed it. Smell of black powder. It kind of grows on you. I like it. One thing that really surprises me is this thing is not that loud, really. Well, here's what it did to the frying pan. That hole went straight through it. I reckon that's good enough to hit a deer, hog, coyote, whatever we get in this video. I am kind of surprised it went right through like that. Well, that's one thing about these is you've always got to clean them after you shoot. If not, these things will gum up and rust up and you'll never get the crud out of there. So a lot of guys still do it, but back in the old days, they would plug the flash hole there and dump boiling water down the barrel, and we'll shake it up and dump it out till it comes out clear, or just let it flow through till it comes out clear. Luckily, I've got some semi-modern cleaners here that I can use, and I don't want to bore you with that, so cut to the next scene. All right, this patch ought to be clean here. I've ran a bunch of them through it. Perfect. Let's get it loaded back up. That right there is our lucky ball that we're going to be hunting with. This is definitely going to be shot at or into our dinner. Most likely into. All right, we got a fresh load in there, ready to rock. Let's see what the land will provide this week. Well, it's looking like it's gonna be a cold one tonight. The cool thing about a flintlock is if you were ever stranded out here in the cold, you could pretty easily spark a campfire with this thing. Luckily, I've got a lighter today. As you can see, this desert scrubland out here is not the best land to find firewood on, but this should be plenty here. Big old thick knot log. This thing will burn for most of the night. This is by far the coldest day of the year so far. I can't even feel my hands right now. That should be enough to get us through the night. When I bought this place out here in the desert, I definitely underestimated how cold it could get out here. Summers are incredibly hot, and these winters are incredibly cold. It doesn't snow here very often, just because there's never any precipitation, really. I always save all of the cardboard I can out here because it really helps starting these fires. Alright, that should catch there. And we have warmth. Alright, I'm about to head out with the flintlock, but I don't think it's necessary to carry this big old powder horn around with us. I'll just carry this flask here. Alright, that thing's all the way full there. I always put a little bit of fresh powder in the pan because you never want to chance this thing not going off, but fresh powder pretty much guarantees we're going to get a strike every time. It's a satchel, it's not a purse. Gonna head out for our daily walk here. I gotta go check some water troughs, and I figured we might as well take this thing along with us because you never know when we're gonna jump a herd of sheep or a group of deer. I can't pass up meat out here. Man, this Kibler Southern Mountain Rifle sure is pretty. I'm almost scared to take it out and scratch it. Let's see if we can come across something worthy of some powder. Check that out. I just came across a different hole in the ground here. I've never seen this one before. And I just pulled this rock up out of it. Somebody or something had knocked it down in there, and you can see there's moss growing on it. So we've definitely got moisture in there. That's a really, really deep hole, guys. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, now this one goes deeper than my flashlight can even shine. It's probably an old water well, or maybe they were drilling for oil and gas or core samples for uranium. I don't know, it was definitely done way before I was born. What kind of intrigues me about these holes, in the cave system below this region here, there's it's one of the only places in the world there's a type of catfish that lives in the aquifers here. Now, I don't know the legality on it, but wouldn't it be kind of cool if we could drop a worm on a hook down there and see if maybe catfish live in the aquifer below the homestead? Particular spot right here where we're about 1.5 miles from the river, so if anything lives in there, it's gonna be that it's like a blind species of catfish. There's definitely water down there. All right, gonna continue on here. I marked that spot on my GPS so we can come back to that hole. Man, I guess I've never walked through this exact area right here. I know there's been a porcupine in this area here. Maybe we'll come across him. That meat is pretty dang good. There's something running up here. I still hear hooves clinking rocks. I don't know what that was. That might be an arrowhead right there. Let's see. Definitely was. Well, it's broken now, but I could tell because this pink colored rock it's made out of doesn't match the surroundings here. Dang it, if that was complete, that would have been a sweet little arrowhead. You can see that was the barb on it there. Wow. There's a spot where it goes down into that cave system right there, right beside this cactus. It goes really deep. On this ledge here, that's the perfect place for a snake den. I'd take a rattlesnake for dinner. That doesn't sound too bad if we can find one. Check out that rub there. Definitely a white-tailed deer. Use that tree to help rub the velvet off his antlers. You know, it's pretty crazy to think about. The advancement of modern weapons. From this to this was really only a few hundred years, and I mean, technically we're still using a piece of that to spark the powder off here. I just heard a rock tip over. It's time to head out for this afternoon's hunt. I think we're just gonna head up on the hill here at the blind closest to the cabin. We'll see what comes in. I have no idea what's coming in there because I don't even have a camera on it, so. All right, let's make sure this thing's still primed from our walk earlier. Looks perfect to me. Temperatures actually dropped some more out there, so I gotta get my jacket. All right, now we're ready. One day, a couple weeks ago, I opened the door like that, and there was probably 30 aoudad sheep just standing right there. All right, we should be ready to rock here. Now we just need the animals to cooperate. I haven't seen our mouse buddy yet, but pretty sure he's in here somewhere. This little spell of cold weather we're having here should have the big bucks a-moving. It usually gets them stirred up. Oh, the sun's starting to set here. Oh, no shooters came in. We'll try again tomorrow. Looks like it's gonna be another cold night tonight, so I'm definitely gonna have to get a fire going. Check out this sunset here. Hard to beat those western sunsets out here in the desert. All right, gotta gather some more wood. So way back in the pioneer days, when this was people's main choice of defense, they would usually hang these things over their doors. And I mean, back then you had to leave these things loaded. Guarantee you were pretty much never gonna find an unloaded gun back in the pioneer days. Would I feel safe with this thing? Probably not really. When the main enemy around here could sling like 20 of these a minute, one of these really wouldn't be that much help. It would be pretty terrifying knowing that you're probably going to be impaled by these after you shoot your one shot. I've got a plan. I'm going to take this hunting chair here and this camouflage mesh, and I'm going to go find a good deer trail for us to sit on, and I'm going to go set this up right now. It's midday, so shouldn't spook anything. Holy cow. Check this thing out, guys. Wow. This thing is a monster. Oh, it stinks. That's a monster rat. Glad to get him out of the electrical shed here. He definitely could mess some stuff up. Man, the rats out here are big enough I could skin them and make a pair of mittens. I think I got everything I need here. This gun has quickly became one of my favorites. The Colt Walker with this conversion cylinder on it. I pretty much carry it everywhere. Now it weighs just about as much as the Flintlock we've been carrying, but man, it's just so handy and accurate. It's pretty dang powerful too. Let's go check out the spot I'm thinking about putting it at. I think this place ought to work. I've got a good game trail up ahead of me and I got the wind in my face, so these bushes around me will help hide us as well. That ought to work. I'll be back this afternoon when it gets closer to dark. Would that take me maybe 30 seconds to build this blind here? Now, I've harvested a lot of animals out of a simple blind like this. They're quick, easy, lightweight, and they work. Oh, it's a good spot right here. I'm feeling pretty confident about our chances. I really want one inside about 40 yards for that 36 caliber flintlock. Definitely not the biggest weapon for the job, but I've got no doubts it'll get the job done. I'm going to be hunting with inside of the water, which I think that definitely increases our chances. Look at how beat out it is around this water here. The ground is just beat out with tracks. I haven't had a game camera set up here in probably almost a year, so I have no idea what's making all these tracks. Got some fresh powder in the pan. I can hear the wind whipping out there. It's pretty dang windy. Alright, not too far of a walk down here to the blind. Hunting fairly close to the cabin here. This camo mesh is blowing around in the wind. I think the movement's gonna alert the deer to my position, so I might be better off just taking it down here. I think there's enough bushes around me for cover here. I asked Google how to hunt deer and it just tells me where to shoot them at. About 1.5 miles that way, there's 2 deer at that blind, so maybe we should have sat there. It is freezing cold. I definitely should have brought a bigger jacket. There's a doe blowing back behind me. My wind is going that way, so I think I'm about to call it an afternoon. We'll try again tomorrow. Gotta go get a fire built. Big old bright full moon tonight. Definitely time to get a fire going. Now we're cooking. No, literally, I'm trying to figure out what I can cook over the fire right now because I don't feel like firing up the oven. Found a pack of hot dogs here. It's been about a month, maybe 1.5 months since I've been to town, so let's see how expired they are. Definitely expired, but only by about 3.5 weeks, so shouldn't kill me, right? I mean, hot dogs are preserved, kinda. Oh, uncured, which means unpreserved. Never mind, but I'm still gonna eat it. I'm hungry. Expiration dates are just recommendations, right? Imagine, of all the dangerous adventures we've been on, imagine you see the news headline, YouTuber Tristin Riddle dies eating a expired wiener. Sounds like another pretty windy day out there, but let's go for a walk, see if we can come across anything for dinner. Check that out right there. I find a ton of horseshoes out here. I think I'll keep that one and take it back to the cabin for decoration. So I've got a map that shows all of the Comanche war trails, and it just so happens to show one of their main trails going right through the middle of my ranch here. And what makes me think there's a possibility that those horseshoes are from that era. When the Comanches stole horses on raids, they always pulled the shoes off for some reason. I don't know, maybe it made them walk quieter on these rocks. There's a chance all those horseshoes I find are from that era. With it being midday like this, there's a chance we'll walk up on a deer bedded under one of these bushes here. This looks like a pretty fertile area here to come across something. In a lot of the cave excavations in this area, in the burn pits, they typically find, looks like they mostly found fish bones, rat bones, rabbit bones. That was probably predominantly the main diet of the people in this region here. The area was really inhabited before the advent of the bow and arrow, so those guys would have been hunting with throwing sticks and atlatls. So as primitive as this gun may seem, it's actually a pretty advanced piece of technology considering what the natives here were using. I just jumped 3 deer. Could not get the main camera up in time to get a shot off, but they stood up probably 20 yards from me. I've definitely located a bedding area here. It's a nice spot out of the wind where the deer will just lay here in the sun where they can see danger coming. Yeah, there was a big group of them. You can see all right through here is where they were bedded. Good news is they ran right towards the stand where I'm planning on hunting this afternoon, so maybe that increased our odds. Still a mile and a half from it. And there's another perfect example of a white-tailed deer's bedding area. Right under that cedar there. This here's more the type of stuff the feral hogs like. They like this thick overbrush here and good tunnels underneath. Another one there. Couple old snares here. I guess the people that owned this place before me must have set them and caught those. That sucks that beautiful coyote hide there went to waste. That would have made a pretty cool arrow quiver. This cave still intrigues me here. Eventually, I think we might get some jackhammers up here and try to bore out the entrance to this cave. See how far down we can get in it. Those cave systems around here are known to stretch hundreds of miles, so we could have an access point right here. It goes all the way into Mexico, you never know. Picking up some Aoudad burgers here. They look good. Well, Aoudad meat is not that great, but it's better than nothing. I am torn right now. Do we want to go set up on the hill, or do we want to go sit in our chair that we set up yesterday? I don't know. Man, I hope this thing shoots as straight as it did when we were practicing, because it's our dinner on the line. Alright, I settled on the mouse blind. It was the closest walk. just got off the phone with my doctor and confirmed a few new things wrong with me. He just got blood work back. Just a weird combination here of genetic autoimmune diseases that for some reason have just all decided to come on at, I'm about to be 29 years old. First diagnosis was I have Hashimoto's. We discovered that months ago. He just confirmed I do have also Graves' disease, which probably caused the Hashimoto's. What else do I have? Oh, and I'm positive in the antibodies that cause type 1 diabetes, so I definitely got the type 1 diabetes gene. So that's great. Pretty likely that at some point in my life that's not too far away, type 1 diabetes will come on. And I'll have to inject insulin, which is terrifying because I'm not a big fan of needles. Prior to this year, it had been 12 years since I've seen a doctor. So this year's been pretty crazy. And I guess I'm not as healthy as I always thought I was. Oh yeah, and to top it all off, I have a nodule on my thyroid. So that's lovely. Kinda sucks YouTube doesn't provide us health insurance. I've spent out of pocket like $14,500 already this year straight to medical. Luckily, when I was younger, we made a whole bunch of money. Thank goodness, or I would probably be in trouble now. And to top it all off and make it worse, on that phone call, my doctor told me he was leaving, so I'm without a doctor again. The most important part on these Flintlocks I've noticed is making sure that powder is perfect in that pan to make sure it goes off. We definitely shouldn't miss one if they do come in here. That's why I like this spot so much, because the main trail by this blind is only 25 yards. So that helps. Oh, this giant long thing is like putting a bazooka out. Man, this Flintlock video is not as easy as I expected it to be. These deer are definitely being a challenge for us. Oh, back to the cabin. Oh, dang it. Just had a gray fox come in right here at the cabin and he took off just in time. I was about to squeeze off the trigger there. If those foxes are moving like that, the deer probably are moving too. I reckon we'll head back to the chair that we set up a couple days ago. That's a pretty good spot. We'll have a good chance there. Got super overcast conditions right now. Fingers crossed. The weather's certainly right. Had a game camera picture about an hour ago from a blind over that way with a pretty big buck at it. These conditions like this, it just makes them move all day long. I don't think this 36 caliber would do us much good on an elk. I definitely wouldn't attempt it, but I'm looking at two pretty good sized bull elk fighting over there on the hill. Now hopefully I remember to reprime that pan so it goes off when we need it to. Piece of steak here for dinner. It really seems like all I do these days is eat, sleep, and hunt. Does it get much more primal than cooking your dinner on a stick over the fire? I don't think so. So I've given it some thought, and tomorrow we're gonna go to the good blind. The blind where I shot that last deer at with the elephant gun. I've been putting it off just because it's so dang far away. It takes me forever to get down there, but it's the best blind. I've been getting pictures on the game camera constantly. There's lots of deer coming in there. Unlike where we've been sitting, apparently. So I reckon tomorrow we'll go where I know there's deer. I'm oiling my gun up here with the light of the campfire. Typically in the pioneer days this would have been done with bear grease, but unfortunately the bears here are protected, so I'm using beef fat. It works just about as good. Being out here in the desert, I don't have to worry about a whole lot of rust, but these unfinished metal parts here can tend to rust a little bit. I think my steak is almost done here. There's no way I could survive out here without this wood stove. This thing comes in handy big time. Steak on the wood stove. It's a good 7 out of 10. Alright, it's like 4:30 in the morning right now. Surprisingly and thankfully, the fire's still going. I almost forgot to reprime my pan. That would have been bad. It's starting to rain. Gotta make sure no water got in our pan here. Should be good. Well, it makes sense of why nothing came in. The ranch next door had some snares set on the fence. Well, that definitely explains why I haven't been seeing near as many rabbits here lately. That guy has been eating them, I guess, but he's not on my side of the fence, so there's really nothing I can do about that. I don't know how long it'll be before someone comes to check that. I mean, apparently they don't check their traps very often. I really do kind of feel bad for that thing, but since he's not on my side of the fence, there's nothing I can do. I'll start working my way back towards the cabin. There's a good chance we'll see a deer in between here and there. That bobcat screaming has probably got all the game gone from this whole area here. So maybe that way we'll have better odds. Well, I'm running out of meat and I'm running out of options here. Plan number, I don't even know. This afternoon we're gonna go to the hog blind. It's usually a pretty guarantee on a hog, so probably finally gonna get to put this thing to work this afternoon, after a lot of attempts. Now that right there is how you know you're in the right area for hogs. I'm down in this creek bottom here, and to know if you've got hogs in an area or not, always find a tree close to water. Check this out. You can tell something's been rubbing on this tree here. And if you look right there, we've got hair. I would say the chances are looking pretty good on us getting a hog this afternoon. That's for sure. Definitely a lot of activity in the area. All right, I saw tons of pig sign coming in here, so I think our chances are gonna be pretty good. Got about an hour before they're really active, so I'll see y'all then. All right, here we go. Got some pigs coming in. Smoked him. Literally smoked him with the smoke pole. Look at all the smoke in the blind. This is crazy. Man, he went right down. I am shocked, but wow. Let's go check him out. All right, guys. 36 caliber Kibler Southern Mountain Rifle. Man, it'll do the job on pigs. That's for sure. This one didn't run very far at all. Actually, I don't even think he took a step. Well, down here in Texas, that's what we call a eater pig. It's probably 60 pounds. That's the perfect size eating hog. Man, usually the guys down here consider the black and white ones like this a trophy. For a pig, it's about as pretty as they get. It's a nice young boar. This should feed me for a couple weeks here at the homestead, so we got some meat. All right, guys, that's it for today's video. Don't forget to click that like and subscribe button, and I'll catch you on the next one.